Okay, let's dive in. When you think about a truly global comedy, the kind that needs no words,
Mr. Bean.
instantly.
Exactly. That silent mastery, the physical comedy,
Yeah.
it works everywhere. You see that face, you know who it is.
He really is one of the biggest comedy exports ever.
Yeah.
Just a masterclass in observation and, well, very structured physical comedy.
But here's what we're doing today. We're going to peel back that character, Mr. Bean, and look at the actual man, Rowan Atkinson, born in England, 1955.
Mm-hmm.
And the sources we looked at, they paint a picture that's honestly pretty shocking when you think about the performer he became. What if the guy behind all that, wild physical energy was actually, for a long time, the complete opposite of funny?
Yeah, the contrast is really something, isn't it? It challenges that whole idea that great comedians have to be the loud life of the party type right from the start.
Uh-huh.
Our sources point towards something totally different. Silence, focus, intellectual work even. So the big question we're chasing is, how does this quiet kid, who apparently loved physics and machines, end up as one of the most, physically expressive comedians on the planet?
And if you look at the bigger picture, it's a fantastic case study in how skills transfer,
Yeah.
how fields that seem totally unrelated, like electrical engineering and comedy,
Polar opposites.
can actually be linked by core abilities. Things like precise analysis and really sharp observation. It's all about understanding a system, whether that system is like electronic or just how humans awkwardly fail at things.
Okay, let's dig into that contrast first, because it really is stark. The sources describe his early years, and it just doesn't line up with the Bean character at all.
No, not really. By all accounts, he was a very quiet young man. Smart, definitely. Shy, yes. And importantly, quite serious.
Curious.
Yeah, multiple people who knew him back then are quoted saying he just wasn't particularly funny as a kid. Quiet. Even sometimes had a bit of a stammer, which probably didn't encourage him to be outspoken.
Wow. Okay, that detail, not funny, quiet, maybe a stammer, that's huge. We usually picture comedy legends holding court,
Right.
But he liked science, not jokes, not the spotlight. He was happier thinking, observing, sort of retreating into his own world.
And that quietness wasn't just like a personality quirk.
Yeah.
It really shaped his path. It steered him away from performing initially towards things that needed intense focus.
Uh-huh.
He wasn't looking for validation from, being the center of attention. He found it in logic, in things you could figure out. And that really paved the way for his academic career.
Which wasn't just a side thing. This was meant to be his actual job.
Absolutely. That was the plan.
So we go from this quiet, serious kid interested in science straight to university. And the sources are clear. He was serious about academics. He studied electrical engineering at Newcastle, and then got a master's degree at Oxford, Queen's College.
Yeah, this wasn't him just killing time before finding comedy. This was a genuine career path. He was aiming to be an engineer, focused on understanding how electricity works, how machines function, how to fix them. That was the goal.
Okay, I'm still trying to bridge that gap, though. Engineering seems so technical, logical, cold almost. How does studying circuit diagrams lead to, getting a turkey stuck on your head?
Well, it's about the underlying skill set, isn't it? What does an engineer fundamentally do?
They analyze systems, look for problems, fix them.
Exactly. They observe a system, look for, let's say, inefficiencies or points of failure. They analyze inputs, outputs, troubleshoot breakdowns with real precision.
Okay, so they look for why things don't work.
Precisely. And think about Bean. So much of his comedy is system failure. He tries to do simple things, get dressed, make lunch, drive somewhere with this almost obsessive, systematic approach.
Right, like he's solving an equation.
But the human system just collapses in a hilarious way. The logic gets twisted.
Oh, okay. So while he was learning how machines work, he was actually mastering the method of analysis, taking things apart, seeing how they function or dysfunction.
Yes. He took that technical engineering level rigor, that precision, and instead of applying it to circuits, he applied it to people.
Yeah.
How they move, how they fail, how they look slightly ridiculous doing ordinary things.
It's the same analytical process, just a different subject. Human behavior instead of electrical current.
Exactly. He's deconstructing human action with the same meticulousness.
Okay, so we've got this quiet, super focused student, good at methodical analysis. Now let's look at his actual daily life back then. Because the sources sketch out this really simple, almost plain existence before he got famous. And maybe that's where the real comedy training happened.
Yeah, it's funny. We picture future stars living these wild artistic lives, right?
Totally.
But Atkinson's routine sounds incredibly normal. almost quiet, structured.
Simple seems to be the word. Routine. Woke up early, liked the quiet mornings, made tea, had breakfast, read the paper, just normal stuff. No pressure to perform.
It's almost the polar opposite of Bean's chaotic energy, isn't it? He'd travel to uni, maybe on a bus, maybe walk, carry his books, study. And the sources keep saying, didn't talk much, just present, but quiet.
But wouldn't that shyness be a problem if you eventually want to be a performer? Seems like a huge obstacle.
You'd think so. But what if you flip it? What if that shyness actually boosted his observation skills? If you're not talking all the time.
You're listening and watching.
Exactly. You become a sponge for detail. You're recording the world instead of trying to constantly interact with it or shape it.
So his quietness almost turned him into a human data recorder.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to be the funny guy. He was just downloading information about how people behave.
That's a great way to put it. His quiet life gave him the space, mentally and physically, to notice all the little things, the small, weird, funny things people do without thinking. He wasn't busy networking or trying to impress anyone. He was just learning by watching.
Okay, let's make that concrete. How does a boring bus ride, spent quietly observing, translate into something specific we see in Mr. Bean? Connect the engineer's precision and the observation to the comedy.
Okay, think about Bean trying to do any simple task. Let's say packing a suitcase.
Right. Classic Bean scenario.
An engineer would approach that logically,
Yeah.
maximize space, ensure things fit efficiently. Bean approaches it with that same intensity of logic, but flawed logic.
He overthinks it to the point of absurdity.
Exactly. He doesn't just throw things in. He might meticulously measure his trousers, calculate the volume needed for his toothbrush, treat the whole thing like a complex geometry problem, but then he'll miss one crucial human element, like how fabric actually folds, or that you can't just cut things in half to make them fit.
Ha! Great.
And the whole precise, systematic effort collapses into something utterly ridiculous. The comedy isn't just that he fails, it's the seriousness, the engineering level focus he applies to the mundane failure.
He brings hyperanalysis to everyday inefficiency.
Yes. He must have spent years observing how people try to be logical or efficient and just fail. Filing away those little twitches of frustration, the awkward ways people handle objects, the funny faces they make when concentrating.
So those quiet moments, commuting, sitting alone, they weren't wasted time at all. They were his secret observation lab, training in human mechanics.
Absolutely. So when he finally did turn to comedy, especially silent comedy, he didn't need lots of words. He had this huge internal library of human behavior, all cataloged with an engineer's eye for detail. The precise gesture, the perfect facial expression, the physical gag, it's all built on that foundation of intense observation that his quiet nature allowed him to develop.
It really is an amazing journey, isn't it? The world-famous comedian started as a quiet electrical engineer who basically mastered observation through a simple, focused routine. The engineering goal shifted to comedy, but the underlying skill, that analytical precision, powered the whole thing.
Yeah, he didn't really abandon the engineering mindset, did he? He just aimed it differently, swapped circuit boards for character quirks. He applied that same rigorous method to the messiness of human life and found universal humor in it. It really shows that how you learn to think can be more important than the specific subject you study.
That's incredible. The skills needed to build something efficient were the same ones he used to show hilarious inefficiency.
And it suggests that things often seen as weaknesses for performers' shyness, quietness, were actually the key ingredients for his unique strength, that intense observational power.
So, thinking about our listeners, what's the takeaway here? How can we apply this link between precision, observation, and maybe even quietness?
Well, here's something to think about, maybe a little provocative. If a quiet student, absorbed in how electricity flows, could turn simple, everyday observation, watching people on a bus, basically into a global comedy career, what small detail in your own daily routine, something you probably ignore, is just sitting there waiting?
Waiting to be noticed.
Waiting to be really looked at, analyzed, maybe even turned into something completely new. The point is, even the seemingly boring bits of life, the quiet moments, might be packed with potential if you apply that kind of focused, almost engineering-level attention to them. They could hold your next big idea.
The power of observation, hidden in plain sight. What a fascinating deep dive. Thanks for exploring the very serious roots of Mr. Bean with us.
My pleasure. It's quite a story.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.
In the shadows where laughter hides, Mr. Bean, bringing joy in his own guise. A silent king, yeah, so profound. But every trip and fall, he turns it around. He's the best the world can see. Chaos, he finds harmony. With a wink and a grin, he plays it cool. Mr. Bean, you break every rule. Watch him fumble, a comedic dance. In the world so well, he takes a chance. No words needed, his charm's oversized. In the silence, you must realize. He the better world can see. In chaos he finds harmony. With the wind plays it cool. Mr. Bean underneath the laughter, a lesson hides. In every stumble, pure joy abides. Life's a stage and he a star. He's the best the world can see. In chaos he finds harmony. With the wind